You know, for years, we've been introducing you to families who have found incredible success with the LearningRx program. These families tell reporter Kelly Hansen that they wish they would have done this program sooner.
A family in Savage not only saw how the program helped their 9-year-old daughter, Lily, they're now seeing how it's changing the way their 6-year-old learns. Kelly introduces us to Sully and catches up with his big sister as well.
I'll do this one.
Sully, you finished kindergarten. What was kindergarten like?
It was like just like all like school stuff, lots of school and work. I liked it.
You're an 8th grade English teacher.
Yes.
As a mom and a teacher, you knew kind of right away that both of your children, there was something different about how they were learning, right?
Yeah, Lily was in 2nd grade when we took her to LearningRx, and so we had noticed some small things over the course of, you know, her first few years of school.
What do you want to be when you grow up? You know?
A teacher like my mom or a photographer like me.
We met you 3 years ago, Lily, and I think you were 9?
I think so.
And you had just finished the program. Now you're going into 7th grade. How's school going?
It's really good.
It's really good. What's your favorite subject?
English.
Sully was a different story because he was at home for a couple of years with COVID and then started kindergarten, and we kind of thought, well, he'll catch up.
Tengo papel.
What was the issue for him? What was the one thing maybe that stood out?
His memory, he could not retain information. He couldn't remember anything. We would go through flashcards with him, go over a few letters, and within a minute he forgot.
What do you think about your brother Sully now doing the LearningRx program?
Sully's been doing really good. He had a lot of trouble doing his flashcards and everything and trying to remember, but now he's got them all down.
Tell me what you think of the LearningRx program. What do you do there?
We work.
You work? Do you kind of play games?
Yeah.
Is it fun?
Yes.
We just wanted him to be able to learn the alphabet and identify the letters and start to learn the sounds, and that seemed like an impossible task at the beginning of the year. And now here we are at the end of the school year, and he's caught up. He is reading books, he knows all of his sounds, he knows all of his letters, but in November he had essentially no sounds. He couldn't identify anything.
Tengo crayones.
He's in a Spanish immersion school.
Yes.
So he's not only learning to read, he's learning to read in Spanish.
Yes.
And so that presents its own difficulties.
Kind of the trick was starting LearningRx was, well, for our trainer Brad, who was amazing, for him to work with Sully with both the Spanish and the English because he needed both.
If there was a kid your age struggling and maybe their parents were considering LearningRx, what would you say about the program?
It's a really good program. I mean, and the trainers there are super nice.
You knew that it worked because you had Lily go through the program. She went through it older than Sully.
Yeah.
Were you wondering how it would work for a 5 or 6-year-old?
Yeah, we were nervous about Sully starting as a 5-year-old kindergartner. It's a lot of work. It's intense, and you're going there after completing an entire day of school. So we didn't want him to get to a point where he didn't like school because he wasn't having any success. We didn't want to wait to go to LearningRx and just kind of see how things panned out.
I heard that you told your teacher you would miss reading out loud in front of class. You like to read out loud. Why?
That's because so everybody can hear and stuff.
You like when people can hear you read out loud?
Yeah.
He told his teacher that he would miss reading in front of class, whereas at the beginning of the year he came home crying. He didn't want to have to be in front of the class because he couldn't do it.
That's incredible.
Okay, you found the cutest children in the world, Rich Frieder, LearningRx Executive Director.
Says everything.
Oh my gosh, how wonderful. Okay, that's a really interesting perspective. How early is it to start? Is there an advantage to starting earlier on for kids?
Oh, for sure. So we start at age 5. As you know, we go up to 95.
Yeah.
And there's a huge advantage because usually what happens when kids struggle in school when they're younger, the strategy is tutoring. So basically it's kind of more academic. So if he's struggling to memorize, which was some of the struggle, well, let's just repeat it and repeat it and repeat it and not get to the root cause. So what we're doing at LearningRx is we're not a tutoring center, we're a cognitive skills training center.
Yep.
So we're addressing the root issue. So we're strengthening his memory, his skills, so that he can now read better, recognize words better. And if you don't get to the root cause when kids are younger, you just keep tutoring and doing school interventions as each year gets harder. And then eventually that struggle starts to wear on kids. It affects their self-esteem and confidence.
Yep.
And you can also spend a lot of time and energy as a family trying to help. Homework can be frustrating. So if you start young, you can avoid so many struggles. Or if your child's doing well, we can make them that even stronger to give them more advantages when they get older.
Well, it was great to hear from Lily. She seems like she's doing really well. Can we expect these benefits to continue with her?
Yeah, I mean, one of the greatest benefits of our training is the gains are long lasting. So I've shared a lot of the peer-reviewed research that we have published, in past shows.
Yeah.
And what's really neat is in a lot of our research, we now do what are called functional MRIs. So basically brain scans where you can visibly see the changes in brain function and connectivity. And we were published in the Journal of Neuroimaging a few years ago because of that. So, but the reason that change is important is once that's happened, typically your brain doesn't flip back to where it was, it's been changed. So everything going forward is stronger and easier for students. And you can kind of get out of this constant kind of cycle of academic catch up and struggle year after year. And yeah, just the change then in the confidence and the change in the family dynamic going forward where parents are not stressed about it, homework is not stressful, could be huge.
It's like the
families.
brain's version of a six-pack abs, but it lasts.
It lasts.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, wouldn't that be great if we worked out and it stuck?
Can you work on that?
Yeah, that's our next
And
goal.
then next time you show up,
Yeah,
tell us
we'll
how to do it.
just work out once and you're good.
But I'm telling you, looking at Sully, he's just so pleased with
Beaming.
himself.
Yeah, he
It's
is.
amazing. And the fewer years that your child has to struggle with confidence, the better off they are. Rich, I think what you do is incredible. I love these stories. I
it's
never get
fun.
tired of
that's
them.
great.
Thank you so much. LearningRx is offering TCL viewers a deal for you. To learn more about the program or to schedule an assessment, call 952-949-6900. Mention Twin Cities Live. You'll get that initial assessment for $75. We've got that info on our website too.
Got it.